Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to take a foundational story, in this case, a really foundational one, and dig in to help you grasp the certainty of what you've been taught.
And today we're in Luke chapter 1. It's really the perfect setup, the prologue to everything that follows.
It is, and what's so striking is how it begins. The author, Luke, he doesn't just launch into the story.
No, not at all. He starts with a dedication, to this most excellent Theophilus. He's essentially laying out his scholarly credentials.
He is. He says he's carefully investigated everything from the beginning.
And that he's writing an orderly account. This is a statement of intent.
It's almost journalistic, isn't it? He's telling you, the reader, that this account is based on eyewitnesses and servants of the word.
Exactly. It's designed to provide certainty. And he builds that certainty through this beautiful parallel structure. 2 mirrored announcements, 2 miraculous births.
Okay, so let's start with that first announcement, section 1, the announcement of John the Baptist.
So we're introduced to Zechariah and Elizabeth. And Luke is very specific about them. They're righteous. They're descendants of Aaron.
So they're from the priestly line. They observe all the commands blamelessly. But then there's this huge but.
A huge one. They were childless and very old.
And that just immediately connects them to the great stories of Israel, doesn't it? Abraham and Sarah.
Hannah.
It does. I mean, for a righteous couple, being childless was often seen as a kind of disgrace, which is a word Elizabeth herself uses later. Their piety makes their barrenness a really central, painful problem.
So the scene is set inside the temple. Zechariah's priestly division is up, and he's chosen by Lot to burn incense.
Which was a massive honor. Probably a once-in-a-lifetime moment for any priest. He's in the holy place, alone.
And that's when it happens.
That's when the supernatural breaks in. An angel, who we later learn is Gabriel, appears, standing right by the altar. And he delivers the promise.
Elizabeth will have a son, and his name must be John. And the destiny for this son is just immense. Gabriel says he'll be great, filled with the Holy Spirit even before he is born.
Which is an incredible detail. But then there's the part about the spirit and power of Elijah.
Yes, that's the key. It frames John as the final prophet, the one who comes to prepare the way, to turn hearts back to God.
He's the one making the people ready.
He's the bridge. He's fulfilling those last prophecies from the Old Testament.
But Zechariah, the blameless priest, he struggles with it.
He does. He asks, how can I be sure of this? I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years.
It's such a human response. He's looking at the biological impossibility of it all. He wants proof.
And that's the crisis of doubt. And the consequence is immediate and, well, severe. Gabriel says, because you did not believe my words, you will be silent, unable to speak.
The irony is just staggering. A priest whose job is to speak to bless.
Beat you.
He comes out of the sanctuary and he can't even give the blessing. He has to use signs. The people must have been so confused.
Absolutely. But that silence becomes a sign in itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a punishment, yes, but it's also this public marker that something divine has happened.
And while he's in this imposed silence, Elizabeth conceives. And she recognizes it immediately as the Lord's favor, taking away her disgrace.
And that silence is the perfect bridge to the next scene.
Right. So 6 months later, we're in section 2. The scene shifts completely.
Totally. We go from the Grand Jerusalem Temple to a little town in Galilee, Nazareth.
From an old established priest to a young woman, a virgin named Mary.
Pledged to be married to Joseph, who, importantly, is a descendant of David. So the divine focus shifts from the priestly line to the royal line.
And Gabriel's greeting to Mary is, it's just amazing. Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you.
And you can feel her shock. The text says she was greatly troubled. She's wondering what this kind of greeting could possibly mean.
Her first reaction isn't doubt, it's confusion about the nature of the greeting itself.
And then comes the promise, which is even bigger than the one given to Zechariah.
Much bigger. Her son will be named Jesus. He will be great, called the Son of the Most High.
He'll be given the throne of his father David. And his kingdom
will never end.
This is the fulfillment of the Davidic Covenant. An eternal king.
And this is where we see that critical difference in their reactions. Zechariah asked, how can this be possible?
Right. A question of possibility.
But Mary asks, how will this be, since I am a virgin?
See the difference? She's not doubting the promise. She's asking about the process, the how, not the if.
It's a question of logistics, not a crisis of faith.
Exactly. And Gabriel gives her the divine mechanism. The Holy Spirit will come on you. It's a creative act of God, unique and powerful.
And to bolster her faith, he gives her a sign she can see. He points to the first miracle.
Elizabeth, your relative is already 6 months pregnant. And he finishes with this incredible line.
For no word from God will ever fail.
It connects everything. It's the anchor for both promises. And Mary's response is just complete submission.
I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled.
And that acceptance, that faith, is what sets everything in motion. The contrast is so clear. Doubt leads to silence. Faith leads to favor and action.
And her first action is to go on a journey, which brings us to section 3, the convergence of these two stories.
Yes, she hurries to Judea to see Elizabeth.
And the moment she arrives, something incredible happens.
A spiritual explosion. The instant Elizabeth hears Mary's voice, the baby John leaps in her womb.
And Elizabeth is filled with the Holy Spirit. It's like the preparer is recognizing the one he's preparing for, even from the womb.
It is. And Elizabeth just cries out, "Blessed are you among women." But then she says something theologically profound. She calls Mary.
The mother of my Lord. She gets it. She understands who Mary is carrying.
And she blesses Mary specifically because she has believed. Belief is highlighted again as the key virtue.
And Mary's response is this incredible song, the Magnificat.
It's so much more than just a personal thank you. It's this powerful piece of theology.
It really is. She starts with, my soul glorifies the Lord, but then immediately connects her personal story to God's big story for Israel.
She sings about how the Mighty One has done great things, and then she pivots to these really radical social themes.
I mean, they're revolutionary. She sings about God scattering the proud, bringing down rulers from their thrones.
And lifting up the humble. It's a complete reversal of the world's power structure.
Then she gets into economics, filling the hungry, sending the rich away empty. I mean, for a young woman under Roman occupation, this is an incredibly bold, prophetic statement.
It's a declaration that God is about to reset the entire social and political order. This is national salvation she's singing about.
And she brings it all home by grounding it in the covenant. God has helped his servant Israel, remembering his mercy.
To Abraham and his descendants forever. She sees her son not as something new, but as the ultimate fulfillment of the oldest promise.
That covenant thread just ties everything together. So after about 3 months, Mary goes home, and then John is born.
Right. And we're back to Zechariah. The drama picks up around the naming ceremony.
Everyone assumes the baby will be named Zechariah after his dad. It's tradition.
But Elizabeth stops them. No, he's to be called John.
They don't believe her, so they turn to Zechariah, who's still mute. He asks for a writing tablet.
And to everyone's shock, he writes, his name is John.
And what happens next is just the perfect payoff.
Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue set free, and he began to speak, praising God.
The moment of obedience and faith breaks the silence.
Exactly. The consequence is reversed. The imposed silence is replaced with praise and prophecy. The whole community is just in awe.
And Zechariah, now filled with the Holy Spirit, delivers his own song, the Benedictus.
And his focus, like Mary's, is on national redemption. He blesses God for having come to his people and redeemed them.
And for raising up a horn of salvation in the house of his servant David.
Again, locking into that Davidic promise. And just like Mary, he connects it all back to the original oath.
The oath he swore to our father Abraham. The two promises, Abrahamic and Davidic, are coming true at the same time.
It's a unified vision. And then he turns and speaks directly to his infant son.
He confirms his mission. John will be a prophet of the Most High who will prepare the way.
To give people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins. It's all laid out.
It ends with that beautiful image of God's tender mercy being like a rising sun, guiding us into the path of peace. Such a hopeful conclusion.
So if you're the listener, Theophilus, trying to find certainty, what does this all mean? Well, Luke has just shown you in this incredibly orderly account how 2 parallel miracles validate God's ancient promises.
He connects everything. The births of John and Jesus are the definitive proof that the covenants with Abraham and David are being fulfilled.
And the narrative brilliantly uses the contrast between doubt and faith. Zechariah's doubt brings silence, which is only broken by obedience. Mary's faith brings immediate blessing and prophetic song.
It all confirms that the redemption of Israel has begun, and it's founded on the absolute faithfulness of God.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. Both children were announced by Gabriel. Both were destined for greatness. But John's mission was to prepare the way. It's vital, but it's temporary.
Whereas Jesus was promised an eternal, unending kingdom. His mission is perpetual. So what does that contrast, the preparatory versus the perpetual, tell you about the scope and the finality of the work each one was sent to do?
Something to think about.
Something to mull over until our next deep dive. Thanks for exploring the sources with us. We'll see you next time.
If this study helped you understand the depth of the Gospels and the mission of Jesus, consider subscribing to walk through the rest of the Bible with us. Thank you for spending this time in the Word. We'll see you in the next chapter.